hammer curl to overhead press. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see my legs in a split stance. So again, that's one leg slightly in front of the other, just to give me a nice base of support to keep my rib cage stacked right over my pelvis. I'm going to bicep curl and then overhead press straight up, and then inhale, one nice long breath to bring the arms down. So again, exhale to come up, inhale to slowly come down. Something to be thoughtful of as you bicep curl and go to overhead press, that we don't jut the head forward and the arms back in order to do that. We want to stay stacked so that we're nice and stable all the way through and keeping our core connected. If that head and rib cage jut forward, then I'm losing some of the power of my core, and I'm depending on my back in order to get those arms overhead. So again, keep that weight in your heels, keep that tailbone long as you bicep curl, and then go to power straight up overhead. As you come back down, you'll lower the arms to return. Cool. So bear plank with a ball squeeze. You're gonna take a ball between your knees. You're gonna place your hands directly under your shoulders, knees right under your hips. You're gonna inhale to prepare, exhale, draw up and in through your abdominals. Float the knees up, gentle ball squeeze while you're performing this movement. I want you to think about a 50% connection around the ball, not like you're trying to pop it. Continue to breathe as you hold. Exhale to slowly lower and reset. So again, inhaling here, exhale, press up. 50% squeeze into the ball. Slowly lower down with control. Hip Hinge T exercise. It's named a T because your arms are going to make that shape when you're doing this motion. So I'm going to start in my hip hinge. So first, feet are going to be approximately shoulder distance apart. I'm going to hinge at my hips, send the pelvis back so I have that nice long line from my rib cage to my pelvis. My arms are going to face straight down, palms facing in. I'm going to inhale here, exhale to open both arms out to the side. Squeeze both shoulder blades together, keeping my head all the way to my tailbone in a neutral line, and then inhale to slowly lower the arms back down. As you open the arms up, make sure that you're not lifting your rib cage and arching through the spine, that you're keeping that connection with your abdominal muscles. Also, as we lift up, you may notice a shrug that kind of wants to happen with your shoulder blades, so make sure they stay long down your back as well. If that's still challenging for you to organize your shoulder blades, one other tip that you can try is, instead of the palms facing in, turn the palms to face behind you so that your thumbs are inward. And then as you exhale, pinkies are going to go straight up towards the ceiling instead. That can often help take some tension out of the neck, but still help you work in between the shoulder blades, and then slowly lower back down here. Again, similar to some of the other exercises, if holding this hip hinge strategy through the whole set is too much for you right now, feel free to stand tall in between each rep to work on strength. And as you build more endurance, then you can hold that hip hinge strategy for longer with more reps. Head fly with a leg raise. So the weight is going to be in one hand, and that same side leg is going to stay planted into the ground. So my left leg, I'm going to start with it extended back. My right hand has the weight. I'm going to exhale here as I lift that leg and lift the weight. And I want you to be sure that as you lift both limbs, that you're not over lifting and arching, that we're keeping that nice long neutral spine. Flex through that foot to access your glute. Inhale to bring everything back in. Exhale to reach back out. Slowly bring it back in. Be thoughtful as you keep going here that you're not looking forward to arch your neck, stay neutral, and also that your shoulder blade is staying down and back, as well as we're minimizing a lot of lean, in this case to my right side, in order to lift my limbs. You want to keep that connection of your stationary limbs grounded into the floor so that your axis doesn't shift as you move your two limbs. Hip hinge rows. So you're going to start with a helpful, challenging weight. You're going to bring your feet so that they're about shoulder distance apart. And then I want you to hinge at your hip to sit back so that your torso comes down towards the floor. on a nice long angle. So we want to make sure that we're not arching here, we're also not rounding the spine, but we're keeping a nice neutral position. Again, connecting rib cage to the front of the pelvis. Our arms are going to stay long here. Our gaze stays looking down at the floor, so we're not looking up to extend our neck, but keeping that nice neutral. You're going to inhale here, exhale to pull the elbows straight back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then slowly release the arms back down with control. Exhale to pull. Squeeze those shoulder blades, keep the elbows close to the rib cage, and then slowly release. You'll notice as you're working the upper back here, you're also going to feel some work in your seat because our glutes here are helping to keep this nice long connection through the back line of the body while we continue to work the upper back. If it's too challenging to stay in this position for the entire set, feel free to pull and then stand tall in between each rep until you build up more endurance across that back line in order to support through the entire set.